Robert Whittaker once again showed why he's been one of the UFC's most successful fighters of the past 5 years on Saturday when he turned back the surging Jared Cannonier in the UFC 254 co-main event. A huge victory for Whittaker in this fight. He's now won back-to-back bouts after dropping the middleweight title to Israel Adesanya at UFC 243 in October of last year, and it now shows that we are seemingly going to get a rematch between these two. Dana White says post-fight that a second bout between Adesanya and Whittaker is very appealing to him, and I agree. I think that is the fight to make coming off this. Of course, Adesanya has all sorts of options lingering, maybe a move up to 205 to fight Jan Blachowicz for a second belt, maybe this John Jones super fight comes together, but I think if he is going to stay there at middleweight defending his belt, then Whittaker has definitely earned his rematch, and I think the UFC definitely has some alternative motives for putting this rematch together. It is, of course, a very legitimate middleweight title fight, but it has a strong significance in the Oceanic region. In New Zealand, in Australia, it was a massive fight the first time around. Of course, a record crowd of fans at Marvel Stadium in Melbourne. This fight was very big the first time around. I think it would be very big for the region a second time around, hopefully more competitive. It seems like if Whittaker is to be believed, he was going through a lot going into that first matchup, mentally, physically. It seems like he is now in a good place in terms of the balance of his training and just the way he approaches the fights mentally. Would that make a difference? It's hard to say. Adesanya, of course, one of the hottest fighters in the sport right now, has just been on fire, looking absolutely sensational, and he definitely had his way with Whittaker the first time around. What type of adjustments would be made? How would these guys approach a rematch? I think it is a fairly compelling fight, and I think for Adesanya, it really shows that he would be the very best middleweight, because I think Whittaker has more than proven his point that he is the number 2 guy. He's beaten the fighters they need to beat. Darren Till, Jared Cannonier, no jokes in that weight class. He deserves another title shot, and I'd love to see these two run it back. What type of fight are we going to get? Who knows? Adesanya would be rightfully favored, but I think it is the right fight to make at 185 pounds coming off of Whittaker's win over Jared Cannonier.